Yeah, that's better. You can get it. Marvelous.
Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the channel, y'all. And look, delinquents, we have officially made it to the EB02 version of our OP10 meta, gang. Let's go! Yes, you heard me right. EB02's preview power rankings will be discussed in this video. If you guys did not know, EB02 does release next Friday or Saturday, pretty much next week. So this is a preview. Week 0 starts next week. And yeah, with all that being said, let's not waste any more of your time and let's go ahead and get straight into the top 10 topping decks on the sim for our EB02 preview power rankings, gang. Let's get it. So look, before we start, I need to tell you guys this here real quick. All of these deck lists, all of these 1 through 10 EB02 topping deck lists for the EB02 meta is coming from the East, or it might come from OP11 depending on what cards they're using. If there is something different, or if there's no EBO cards used, I will be telling you. If it is an EBO card used, I will be reading it. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into the very first deck. We are going to talk about our 10th place deck for our EB02 preview power rankings on the sim. Has to be the fraud deck himself, Usopp. Usopp is on his way out. As you guys can see, Usopp was sitting around 4th or 5th in the power rankings for the sim before EB02 came out, and it's already showing that this fraud deck will be sitting at the same table with BY Luffy. Okay, nothing has really changed when it comes to EB02. It's not using any of the new cards, but this is an EB02 list, fact, not opinion. Let's go ahead and break down some of the key staples in this deck, such as this Cavendish. You get this on the board, and if the opponent cannot get rid of this card, just being able to recycle your hand 2 to 3 turns, you pretty much are always going to win. This deck is really built off tempo. As soon as this deck loses tempo, you're pretty much going to be in for a bad time.
Several bad puns later.
Another thing that this deck really has going for it is some blanket protection behind the Sabo. The Rebecca Kairos combo, that is the bread and butter also to this deck for the combo. You drop the Rebecca out, bring out the Kairos right here, just being able to abuse this Frankie and its effect, bringing out some, you know, Bartolomeos or anything that's a cost 3 or lower, just to the field. 1 is KO. This is your steady bow removal. This is some crazy bow removal for mainly your Blackbeard matchup. This ends off games just giving any of your Desrosa characters a plus 6,000 power. And I'm gonna be real with y'all, if you guys just don't see stage in this deck, you pretty much, it's pretty much GG. Extend the hand and give him the firmest handshake your op has ever had in his life, because that's just how this deck is. You don't see Coliseum, you're pretty much just playing, you're not even playing One Piece at this point. You're literally just wiping down the tables with your cards, fact, not an opinion. So let's go ahead and get straight into our 9th best deck. Our 9th best deck, our 9th topping deck has to be Purple Blue Rage. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. This particular list we are using is from our current meta from OP10. This deck is 9th place, sitting at 3,736 matches, 1,875 wins, 1,861 losses, sitting at a 50.2% win rate. This is also one of the hardest combo decks in the game to play, fact, not opinion. Just like Usopp, the biggest thing this deck really struggles with is this Germa Kingdom. The biggest thing about this deck, if you don't see this Germa Kingdom, you're going to get really far behind. So you guys always want to mulligan for this card. This particular deck also does not have any current EB02 cards, but like I said, I'm not sure what this deck can possibly use the EB02 with the support. So if you guys do have a different list, or you guys do have some different techs from EB02, let us know, so all our blue and purple Raging players can get some help. You know, you already know how we get down over here in the streets if you're dealing with. We all for each other. I mean, it's YGLD, but we all one big family, fact, not a piece. So if you guys do got some sauce for this deck for EB02, drop it down below, help somebody out, because you never know when you might need to get helped out. You get what I'm saying? But all in all, this deck is pretty much built around this EGC just being able to abuse this with its rush is very shice, being able to abuse this rage, just being able to get some Dawn ramping, and also this Gamma knife. This is really built in for your kid, just being able to get rid of the 8-cost kid. The 8-cost kid literally just walls this deck a little bit, so this really helps this matchup. Having the most broken purple card in the game in Black Maria, and outside of that, this looks like a staple blue purple Reiju. Like I said earlier, if you guys do know any text from EB02, make sure you tap in and help the delinquents out. You already know how we get down over here. That is the 9th placing deck. The 8th placing deck that we have so far for our EB02 preview power rankings has to be none other than Luchcci. Yes, you heard me right. Luchcci's literally found its legs, and now it's starting to run through the meta. It's starting to run through yo bitch. I mean, at this point, Luchcci is doing so well in EB02 already in the preview, and also OP11, which I think in OP11 it is a top 5 deck in my personal opinion. This deck really just took off, and that's why I said this deck is way ahead of its time. Let's go ahead and read its stats here real quick. For our EB02 preview power rankings, Luchcci is sitting at 7,052 matches played with 3,546 wins with 3,506 losses, sitting at a 50.3%, so it does have a positive win rate. It is a top 10 deck, and when we just take a look at every single one of these cards, there's nothing used from EB02. This is just a whole bunch of good stuff, such as the board removal and Luchcci getting rid of 2 bodies, such as the Jack just being able to always have some blanket board removal by just turning it sideways, and Jack's ability also works underneath Blackbeard. Having some crazy cost reduction with the Laboon, the Kuzan really opens up your plays with the Brooks right here, and also the Kuzan. Kuzan's the reason why this deck is really spinning right now. I mean, usually if you guys can resolve this and just keep it on the board, everything's getting KO'd if you guys incorporate this with the leader ability. So very nice. Let's go over every single one of these cards again real quick, but all in all, this is just another good staple deck without using any EB02 cards. Luchcci doing its thing. 8th best deck of the format. Let's go ahead and get straight to our 7th best deck. Our 7th best deck has to be Blackbeard, another black deck, and let's be real, this is the only 2 black decks in the top 10. It's actually, when I'm actually starting to look at my stats here for the EB02 power ranking so far, I'm realizing there is 0 yellow decks, 0 YGOD members happen to show up. Where has the gang gone? What the fuck is happening to yellow? Nonetheless, we'll talk about that in another video. Let's talk about Marshall D. Teach. Marshall D. Teach is a walking floodgate. You guys see it on the screen. On plays can't be activated, which is 80% of the meta. Fact, not opinion. My personal opinion, this is an S tier deck. This is going to be a top 3 deck in the meta, but this is the West, so I could probably see this barely making the top 10 with how many you know, crayon eating people we have playing this deck. You get what I'm saying? But oh wait, hold on. Actually no, I think everybody's really going to be playing this deck, because a word on the street is that everybody can just play 5 of This Is My Age and be absolutely perfectly fine. So I mean, if you guys are a Blackbeard player, just play 5 ages. I mean, just like some of these people that are getting paid to do it, right? Nonetheless, let's go over all these cards here real quick. Let's see here. Augur, staple, just being able to get some cost reduction, also a draw on KO. This is your boss monster. Kuzan is what really boosts this deck to the next level. Fact, not an opinion. It's probably one of the most broken cards, and if not the most broken card in this deck. You'd be able to use this to be able to bounce in the Burgess or bounce in the Van Augur. Very nice, very nice. Your boss monster of the deck is the Marshall DT. Look, I've been over this deck so many times for so many weeks at this point. Do I really need to explain to you guys? Everything looks kind of the same. He is not using the other одарu:yu, or whatever the fuck this man's name is. He's not using the other one. He's actually opting out for 4 finger guns. So that's what, I guess that's just what it is. Blackbeard putting in work. EB02, nothing's changed. It's still meta viable, and I can see this being an S tier deck as long as everybody puts the 5th copy of This Is My Age. So definitely crazy, definitely spicy. Let's go ahead and get straight to our 6th best deck, our 6th topping deck. Actually, let's go over the stats here real quick. Blackbeard has played 13,112 games. It has won 6,683 matches and losing 6,429 games, sitting at a 51 win percentage. So still positive, still doing its thing. Let's go ahead and get straight into our 6th best deck of our EB02 preview power rankings. All right, so that deck has to be Doffy. Like I said earlier, Doffy has not changed at all. I mean, as you guys can see, even in EB02, there's really no reason to change any of this blue good stuff. Everything is literally the same exact deck except for having Jinbei. Let's go ahead and read the stats so we can go ahead and get you guys off to the 5th best deck of the EB02 preview power rankings. Blue Doflamingo's played 5,003 matches. It has won 2,678 times. It has lost 2,325 times with a win rate of 51.7%. Look, I'm not going to go over this deck any longer. I'm tired of actually going over this deck. Until I see some new innovation, I will be continuing speed running some of these deck profiles, such as our 5th best deck. Our 5th best deck of the EB02 preview power rankings has to be Plofy. Plofy's still coming in as a premier top 10 deck in the EB02 meta so far. Plofy has played 6,228 games. It has won 3,228 matches, losing 3,006 games as well, sitting at a 51.7% win percentage, same win percentage as Blue Doflamingo. Let's go ahead and go over every single one of these cards. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to really spend too much time on this deck because, as you guys can see, nothing is being used from EB02. You still have the Luffy Taro and the Sangaro, and this is the biggest thing too. You guys get this on board and they can't get rid of it. You're pretty much just going to get so far ahead of the opponent. The opponent's just going to get blown out, especially if you can really start tying in these big mon drops, getting some life replenished while allowing you to ramp as fast as possible, ending off games with this Sanji. This is pretty much one of your in-game cleaners. You summon this, put 2 Dawn on it, now you attack it at 7, and this is another in-game cleaner right here with this Monkey D. Luffy, getting rush on summon, blocking up, creating that great wall that everybody loves to see with the green kids. Now they're playing it in the purple kid, just walling up, clearing off blockers to be able to in-games through blockers with this Usopp. And outside of that, this is just another cookie cutter Plofy list from our EB02 meta gang. Like I said earlier, these are all EB02 or OP11 lists. This deck is still viable, so keep on playing it if you guys do like Plofy. Our 4th best deck that we have in the meta so far has to be Lim. Lim is actually showing up. It got a brand new pair of Jordans and she hasn't taken them off since OP10, and that's the reason why she is currently the 4th best deck of our EB02.
Ready? Yeah. Let's go.
Preview power rankings gang, fact, not an opinion. Let's go over some of these cards in this deck. So she is actually opting out for the Eustace Captain Kid. Like I said, these are all EB02 topping lists, fact, not an opinion. So with that being said, the list is going to be a little bit different, but hey, until we actually see some type of results, we're going to be seeing things like this: the green Eustace Kid, the big wall himself. We just got done talking about Eustace Kid in Plofy. Not necessarily Plofy using it, but just a kid card blockering up. And this is the cream of the crop. Any green deck is probably going to be playing this, just like they should be playing this Royal Zone, just being able to apply pressure. Literally, if you guys resolve this on the board, you're pretty much going to win next turn. Another boss monster of this deck is this Sakazuki, just being able to have some board removal of any 5 costs or less. This is one of your biggest starters. You know, usually you want to cheat this out on Dawn 1 or Dawn 2 or Dawn 3 or whatever the hell you guys get this out. This is what you really want to be bringing out. Once you get to Dawn 6 or 7, you really just want to have this on board to really be able to spin. Usopp just being able to clear blockers. This is another shiest ass card, very good ass card, being able to rest a 5 costs or less. Anel, a staple in this deck with this Draco Mihawk. I mean, everything is really kind of cookie cutter at this point. This deck is solved. This is an EB02 list. Lim putting in goddamn work. Lim is fucking yo bitch. Lim also brought the wings. So let's go ahead and get straight into our 3rd best deck of our preview for the EB02 power rankings gang, and that has to be none other than GP Luffy. Yes, this is the brand new card. This is the brand new leader that's hoping to take over the meta by storm, just like what the East did, fact, not opinion. I'm gonna be real with you, a good skilled pilot. This deck is, nothing can really beat this deck except for RG Smoker. RG Smoker, newsflash, is not in the top 10, but as soon as it starts taking over, you guys can really start seeing our green Smoker really start showing up in our meta for our top 10. Like I said, this is a preview, so in a preview it's already 3rd. Yeah, this shit's gonna be #1. Let's go ahead and read its abilities. This is our first time truly going over this particular deck. Activate Wayne once per turn. -2 if you have Straw Hat Crew type characters in play, set up to 2 of your rested Dawn cards is active, then this leader gets the plus 6,000 power until the end of your next turn. So this is pretty much a 6k leader, and that's the reason why a lot of 6k leaders that might become relevant, like RP Luffy, might showing up if this starts really taking over. This thing is really based around getting around a 6k leader. You attach 1 Dawn, now you're at 7, you have to give me 2 cards. So that's why this deck is really so strong. The main reason why this deck is so strong is really just because of this Sanji pudding. This is literally the staple and glue of this deck. If you guys leave this on the board for 2 or 3 turns, you're pretty much just gonna get so far behind, you're gonna get blown out. Let's go ahead and read what the Sanji pudding does. Your turn, once per turn, when 2 or more of your Dawn cards are returned to the Dawn deck, set up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck is active, and on play, if the number of your Dawn cards on your field is equal to or less than the number of your opponent's field, draw 1 card. So it's pretty much the staple and glue of the deck. I mean, you guys go ahead and read it several times, but all in all, in a nutshell, if you leave this on the board, you see how it says once per turn, they can keep on getting this effect every single goddamn turn. They're going to fuck your bitch, bro. You're not gonna have a hoe anymore, bro. You better start going on Tinder at this point. Another EB02 card we have right here is a blocker, KL Dawn -1. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 1 Straw Hat Crew type card and put it into your hand, then place the rest to the bottom of your deck. Just being able to have a little searcher for your Straw Hat Crews. Outside of that, the only other cards that really are kind of notable in this EB02 type of deck is not this. This is just a searcher. This card just allows you just to rest a character with 4 costs or less, but it's really just this card, this Monkey D. Luffy. This is the card that really just ends off your game. It's a staple. This is your boss monster. Watch out for this. Let's go ahead and read it. If your leader is multicolored and your opponent has 5 or more Dawn cards active on the field, this character gains rush, which means this card will always get rush. When attacking once per turn, return 2 of your active Dawn cards to your Dawn deck. Set this character as active, then add the top of your life to your hand. So this is their game ending card. You guys really have to watch out for this particular card. You guys really just have to watch out for this card, gang. You truly do. I mean, this is, like I said, this is their boss monster of the whole entire deck. Watch out for this. If you guys start seeing this on the board, more likely you're gonna get, look, you're cooked at this point. You're actually, it's over. It's over. You guys got goob. Just go ahead and put your deck back in your deck box. Outside of those cards, we have the Sanji. We have crazy regular purple stuff like the Usopp, the Sanji, the Zoro. This is another card that is also used in this deck. I'm not sure how often this card will be used in the upcoming format, but this is an EB02 topping list. We can go ahead and read it. It's a 3-cost main. All of your opponents rest as characters with a cost of 7 or less do not become active during your opponent's next refresh phase. So this is really good for the mirror and anything that has a 7 cost or lower. So like the Doffys, the Limbs. I'm looking at everything. I'm looking Reiju, possibly even Usopp as well. So this deck's versatility is very nice. And then the trigger also says trigger rests up to 1 of your opponent's characters. So all in all, really good staple card, and it's really just used in the mirror, just being able to, you know, freeze this so he can't get it every single turn. Well, this, it can't attack every single turn because this is how it gets its ability. Outside of that, any other EB02 cards, the only other EB02 cards is this is pretty much stage. I'll let you guys read it on your own time, but yeah, this is pretty much going to be the best deck of the format if we actually look at the East. And since Black did get nerfed, I really do see this becoming the #1 deck probably within the next upcoming weeks. But right now it's 3rd. It has played 6,264 matches with 3,323 wins with 2,941 losses, sitting at a 53 win % rate. So I can really see this deck really taking off in the future, but for right now it is sitting at 3rd, the 2nd best deck of the format. When it comes to stats for our EB02 preview power rankings has to be Bonnie. Look, I keep talking about Bonnie, and the only other card that was really new outside of this particular deck has to be this one right here. You guys probably skipped over it. This is from EB02. Let's go ahead and read. This is a 7-drop, a counter of 1,000. On play, up to 1 of your opponent's rested characters will not become active during your opponent's next refresh phase. Then at the end of your turn, set up to 1 of your Dawn cards is active. So pretty much you freeze a character and set 1 Dawn is active. I'm not sure how optimal this card's really going to be, because when we really just look at it, this really just looks like a regular staple Bonnie list. Freezing shit with the Doflamingo, using this Smoker and also the Shigi combo. If you guys can really establish these 2 early game, you're going to be in for for a treat just because this gets the cycle back to Dawn, ending off games with the Hody Jones protection with the Rosinante. Very shice, but this is also your bread and butter of the deck. If you guys be able to establish this particular Cavendish on board, and you just keep on recycling his ability over and over again, on top of getting the kit on the board, more likely it's over. You don't even talk about it anymore. The game's pretty much done. Outside of that, he is also running some crazy checks with this Raizo and also this X-Drake. Some of these cards I've never even seen in this deck, but like I said, this is the East, so you know, we don't look, the East is actually creative. They actually think of different things to use, so that's the reason why you might see some different type of cards in this deck. This is from EB02's meta as well in the East. Let's go ahead and read its stats here real quick. This is the second best ranked deck, playing 3,677 matches with 1,988 wins with 1,689 losses, sitting at a 54.1% win rate. When we look at all the other topping lists so far that I'm looking on my screen right now on my other window, this actually has the lowest amount of games played compared to any other deck on here. So I'm not sure if this is even a right type of ranking, but this is the sim. We could never expect anything proper from the fucking sim when it comes to ranks and deck lists, right? That's why I'm here. That's why you guys actually have some realness in the streets, because if not, you guys will still be getting gooed. Motherfuckers be telling you fucking Purple Magellan's the best deck.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
If it was up to them, right? But nonetheless, let's go ahead and get to the #1 deck. If you guys did not know already, it is Shanks. I'm tired of going over this deck, to be honest with you. This is the #1 deck so far, but like I said, once people start figuring out how to really cook up purple grape, whatever the fuck you guys want to call it, green purple Luffy, this will fall out of the meta. Fact, that opinion. Let's go and read his matches. He's played 14,720 matches, sitting at 7,984 wins, 6,736 losses, sitting at a 54.2 win percentage. This is the #1 deck of our EB02 preview power rankings. We can go ahead and break down this deck just a little bit since this is from the East, but just looking at it, everything's the same. Board removal with the Silver's Rally, cost or power reduction with the Sultama, blanket board removal with this Ben Beckman. This is all Lucky Rue's a crazy blocker in this deck. He's actually running 3 Divine Poachers, not opting out for the Goldie Rogers, which is crazy in my person. I always feel like that should always be played at 1 or 2. Your boss monster of your deck is this Shanks. You apply 2. Look, the opponent really can't do anything. It really can't come back. Having some crazy board removal of this Shanks as well. And this is pretty much your OP10 EB02 preview power rankings that we will be seeing in just 1 week. So look, this is all I got. Tell me below what decks you think should be on a rise once this set gets a little bit closer. There's still a lot of testing that needs to be done. A lot of people still need to be figuring out how to play green purple Luffy, but like I said earlier, once that deck takes off, RG Smoker, prepare to see that deck in the future game. Look, that's all I got. Tell me below how you guys feel about this whole entire EB02 meta so far. Me personally, I'm surprised even with the yellow support, motherfuckers ain't been playing yellow. It smells like pussy. I mean, y'all don't want to play yellow? All right, bet. So everybody that's YGOD, we need to take over this bitch sooner rather than later. But look, that's all I got. But look, before I go, if you was full of vibes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It out.